Hi, today I want to talk about something I noticed which has been bothering me a bit, and I wanted to bring it up to see if anyone else noticed and see how you feel about this particular issue. It's regarding the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho in the English version and the Spanish version. Now, before I say anything, I first want to mention that I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I loved it a lot. It's not this book's story that I have an issue with. It's with the translations. You see, I already read through the whole book in English and enjoyed it immensely. So much so that I decided to read it in Spanish, as I figured it might be a little closer to the original Portuguese version, and also because I thought it would be a good way for me to practice Spanish, as I am currently trying to learn it. I always feel that some things might be lost through translations, as it is inevitable for anything when putting it into a completely different language. My husband, who is irrational, learned to speak different languages and prefers to read stories in their original language, thus becoming fluent in French, German, Spanish, Chinese, Latin, etc., in order to read classical literature. Now, I don't go to that extreme, as I am struggling already with learning just one language, but I can already see what he was talking about. Which brings me to the topic of the book, The Alchemist. I haven't gone through the entire book in Spanish, but there were already several parts left out of the English translated version compared to the Spanish one. From the very beginning of the book, Paulo Coelho's dedication is left out in the English version, where in the Spanish one it says, "My question is, why did they leave this dedication out of the English version?" The introduction, written by Paulo Coelho, is included in both. Then it goes straight into the prologue for the English version. In the Spanish version, it does not. Instead, the next section is the preface, which is nearly 4 pages long, and then after that, a passage from Lucas X, 38-42, then into the prologue. Why was so much missing already? If cost was an issue, would it really offset the cost to cut out just a few pages of a book we are already paying almost $15 for? Or was there another reason? I know the English book has extras included, such as an interview with the author and snippets from another book, but that doesn't mean they should change the entire beginning parts, in my opinion. And a couple more pages wouldn't hurt, I'm sure. You may be saying, "Oh, that's not important. It's the story we want to read anyway, and most people skip the beginning and don't care to read it. We just want to get to the story." Okay then, let's go into the story, shall we? I admit I haven't gone far enough into the story yet, as I've been painstakingly going through word for word, sentence for sentence, translating and using dictionaries. But let's just jump to page 21 in the English translation, which is page 39 of the Spanish translation. The paragraph that jumped out to me was this paragraph. "There, in the sand of the plaza of that small city, the boy read the names of his father and his mother, and the name of the seminary he had attended. He read the name of the merchant's daughter, which he hadn't even known, and he read things he had never told anyone." Here is the Spanish translation for the very same paragraph. Basically, with my limited Spanish ability, the biggest difference I notice is the last sentence, which in the Spanish translation basically says that he read things he had told no one, of the day he stole his father's weapon to kill deer, and his first solitary sexual experience, all of which was excluded in the English version. My concern is how much more of the story was changed around to leave little bits of information like this? Because to me, this is a big change of character for the main boy we are reading about, and important and good to know. If there is anyone who has an idea or your own explanation of why things were excluded in the English version, I would greatly appreciate it. All in all, I am finding the Spanish book a much better read, since there are more things included in the book, and I feel I could appreciate this amazing story better. I know it's not exactly like this, but it reminds me of the telephone game we all had to play in school, where one person tells the original message in a student's ear, and that person tells it to the next student's ear, and so on and so forth, all the way down the line until we reach the last person, usually 20 students down. Then the last person says what he or she heard, and we have to see how different it was from the original message. And boy, was it vastly different. The difference with the Alchemist books, however, is somewhere down the line of students, someone intentionally changed the message because he or she decided what you should hear and what you shouldn't. Thank you.